Big event taking place this weekend out at the Northeast Dirt Modified Museum and Hall of Fame. Driver Roundtable. I don't know if they've actually done one of these before, but boy, I got to tell you, they really assembled four fantastic drivers to come and do this. Joe Marotta, of course, will be the host. It's this Saturday. Doors are going to open at 3. They'll do dinner at 4:30, and then the roundtable discussion begins right around 5 o'clock. 4 big names: Billy Decker, Kenny Tremont, Tim Fuller, and the guy that I've got on the phone with me right now, Gary Tomkins, has well over 200 wins. So let's head out to Crystal Springs, get a little preview of some of the stuff that we might hear. And again, I don't want to do too much here because I don't want Gary, and we talked about this, we don't want to steal any of the stories that you might hear. First of all, Gary, how you doing?
I'm doing good. Doing real good.
Any plans for this year? Are we talking about anything yet?
I don't have anything on the table. It's unfortunate. It's if you have something, it's a lot easier to keep it than it is to try to find something, and it's sort of tough right now the way the economy and stuff like that as a driver to try to find a ride in somebody else's car. So nothing on the table at the moment.
Okay, well, hopefully we'll have some news about that somewhere down the road. So how did this all come about? How did they approach you about putting something like this driver roundtable together? When did it first start? When did they get a hold of you and talk about it?
Rich Appleby got a hold of me, messaged me a while ago, and said that they were putting together something sometime in January. Just maybe have a dinner and then talk and like that. So he asked me if I'd be interested in something like that, and I said, yeah, sure. And then I didn't hear any more. And then next thing I know, there's a ad on Facebook that, Kenny Tremont, Billy Decker, Tim Fuller, and I are going to be part of a Races Roundtable. And so I guess here we go. But it's actually pretty cool to get those drivers. Kenny's somebody that, I've always looked up to, very professional and family-owned team, and got to know a little bit. Not so much racing, but when I worked at Troyer's building bodies and stuff like that for him, I actually got to know him that way before I actually really started to be competitive enough to be able to race with him. And then Billy and Tim, Billy started a little ahead of us, Tim and I, but we always seemed to be, especially early 2000s, late 1990s, seemed to always be together on the track, and usually towards the front, battling for position. So we've had some great battles over the years, and I really respect the heck out of both of those guys, and of course Kenny. Mm-hmm. So it should be a good time.
Of course, we didn't see Kenny as much. We might have seen him at Rolling Wheels a few times, but of course, when him and his dad rolled into Syracuse, they were going to be ready to go, didn't you?
Yeah, definitely. I actually raced against him earlier in my career at Weedsport. He used to run Weedsport more often then. Yeah, but I mean, not more often. I don't know if he raced full season there. He might have when I raced, but always the beginning because, Weedsport usually opened before everybody else. But definitely Rolling Wheels. I actually got to race with him a couple times. I still remember it just showed how great a driver Brett Hearn is. Kenny was leading, and Brett might have been just a little bit faster, and I was good enough to be able to watch how Brett tried everything. He never hit Kenny, and Kenny never hit him, obviously, but they raced so hard, both of them, and then Brett ended up getting by him. But I just watched. Wow, they're really two professional drivers going at it like that. It really was. It just showed me, this is what you got to do to be good. And one of the examples right there is just how those two went at it with each other. The track obviously is in good shape where you could race side by side, but man, they put on a heck of a show, and I had a great seat. I wasn't good enough to be able to, compete with either of them. I think we finished third or fourth that day, but it was just watching those two go at it. But the respect they had for each other, though, they never crashed into each other or, made a guy have to lift or anything like that. So that was pretty cool to watch. And, obviously Syracuse, it's funny. I've never won there, unfortunately, but I've got second twice, and both times I got second. Kenny Tremont was leading on the last lap and ran out of gas.
Oh, no.
So, yeah, Kenny and 2002, a bunch of guys ran out, and then Vic Coffey ended up winning, and I got second, and then 2004, Kenny ran out turn 2 last lap, and Tim Fuller and I split them. Tim went around the outside, and I went around the inside, and Tim beat me to turn 3 and won the race there. So, we all have a little bit in common with that year, that race. So, it should be an interesting time.
We were talking a little bit about Billy Decker and Tim Fuller, and if you guys don't know, they are some of the closest friends. And I've advised people, if you ever see them on the back of a trailer talking, just grab a seat and listen. But you said you could never really be buddy with somebody like that, could you?
It takes a little bit to do that. I guess you got to really respect each other too, and it's not like, I have anything against that. If they want to be buddy, that's fine. I could never do that because it just seemed like every time I got to be buddy with somebody, it ended up having an incident on the track, and that actually happened early in my career when street stock and sportsman. So, I like everybody. I don't really have any problems with any drivers. I've never really been like that. Whatever happens on the track happens on the track. But just to be friends like those two are, it's pretty special. You don't really see that a whole lot, and it is actually pretty fun just to listen to those two. Get on each other and stuff like that. So it's a pretty funny conversation to be part of.
Yeah, they both have a very dry sense of humor, too.
Yeah.
So, you got to really pay attention or you'll miss the zingers as they sneak them in. And, again, I didn't want to do too much here with Gary, so I'm going to let him go now because, again, I just wanted to tease this. There are still tickets available. You can call Pam at 315-604-7121 to get your tickets. Again, it's this Saturday. Doors are going to open at 3. Dinner will be at 4:30, and then the fun will begin at 5 o'clock with Joe Marotta leading the discussion. So, Gary, I know you're going to have fun. Let's make sure we talk again soon. And I think Syracuse is going to be good this year. What do you think on the hoops court?
They're still young.
Yes,
so
very young.
The basketball team, yes. You can see them getting better because they're learning more, but they don't have the problem. They don't have is senior leadership or junior leadership. That's what's costing them right now. So, it's fun to watch them the way they're playing basketball. It's like I always say, it's a journey. Hopefully they make the tournament and, could do some damage there. But it's a joy just to watch them and the way they play. I really like the way they play. I love Coach Red as a coach.
Yes, so do I. I agree with that, too. The information is all on the screen right in front of you there. I made sure to put that up. So, Gary, I appreciate you making time for me, man, and enjoy your day on Saturday. Thank you.
All right, thank you.